good morning. Welcome to Ikate's Crossing. Okay, we're going to continue our exploration of the secret of Shambhala in search of the 11th insight. Okay, what I like to do before we actually start the chapter or the part or what we're up to in the book, I like to do a reading. So I'm going to use the Siddartha Tarot with the Buddhism Oracle cards. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's have a look. What chapter are we actually still up to? Okay, just so to read this, let me get my glasses. Okay, I think we are continuing with the energy of evil. Okay, I think we're up to about part 4. I think we're up to part 4. Okay, the energy of evil. Okay, so let's have a look and see what's the message that the cards are going to give us at this time. Okay, let's have a look. Taking a nice deep breath in through our nose and in, out through our mouth. Let's have a look. Oh, this card here popped out. So we're starting with the 3 of Swords. So we're talking about the heartbreak, the sorrow, the challenges that we have to expand our sense of thought and an awareness. I think it's about dealing with trials and tribulations. And finding success and victory with all the struggles and things that are going on, with the chaos that's around us, allowing us to be in that sense, you know, dealing with the heartbreak, the sorrow, but still being able to create that sense of success and victory, triumphs, you know, victories, I think is really important here. That winning energy. Ooh, being in control of everything, being able to provide for ourselves, I think is really, really important here. Being able to take control, nourish our soul, you know, really take care of ourselves is super important. Being able to end the old, but make way for the new. Being able to end the old perceptions, the old thoughts, and being able to create something new. Being able to acknowledge the facts, but nurture the new ideas, the new, the sense of thoughts and plans and things that are important in our journey. Being able to speak our truth is so important here. Nurture our ideas, our plans, and what's going on. So that's really important here. So when we look at this, we look at that sense of being able to deal with the heartbreak, the sorrow, being able to really acknowledge the success in this moment is really important. Being able to be successful in this moment is super, super important here. Being able to sort of take control, take care of, or provide for ourselves, our awareness. Being able to have the sense of endings, you know, ending things, making things final to make way for the new, nurturing those ideas, those perceptions is kind of really important here. So I feel like there's a lot of thoughts and ideas. I think it all comes down to our perception and how we deal with this situation. So let's have a look and see what card comes out. Appreciation. The self-grasping mentality eats away at our merits and jeopardizes our efforts to attain happiness for ourselves and our friends. Consider whether your motivation is pure or driven by a need to be appreciated. So let's dive into that a little bit with the book here. Number 42. appreciation. Okay. Did your friend complain that you were not helping them while all the hard efforts you have made to help them on various occasions flooded back into your mind? Did you get upset at that moment and later feel the sadness of not being appreciated? Now, before playing with the idea of distancing yourself from your friend, take a moment to examine why you were upset. Did you help your friend because they needed help? Or did you help your friend because you wanted to be appreciated? Or was it a mixture of the two? If you didn't need to be appreciated at all, would you still feel upset like you did? Helping someone because they need help comes from compassion, which is virtuous. Helping someone because you feel like being appreciated, however, comes from egocentric mentality, which is non-virtuous. Therefore, what made you upset is not what your friend said, but the egocentric or self-grasping mentality. This is how such mental afflictions eat away at our merits and jeopardize our efforts to attain happiness for ourselves and our friends. Therefore, take a moment to thank your friend for exposing the true enemy and for offering you a chance to say no to the self-grasping attitude. If not for our good friends, we would lose all our energies to negative emotions without even being aware of the true culprit. It's kind of really important. Becomes unconditional. So, are you giving to your friends unconditionally, or are you expecting something in return? Oh, interesting. So that self-awareness is really important. So let's continue this journey with the energy of evil. Okay, let's continue this. I awoke with the first noise in the camp. Someone was clanking barrels or large cans together. I jumped up, dressed, and glanced towards the door. The guards had been replaced by 2 other soldiers. They stared at me sleepily. I walked over and looked out the window. The day was dark and overcast, and the wind howled. There was movement at one of the other tents. One of the doors was opening. It was the colonel, and he was walking towards our tent. I moved back to Yin's cot and turned over, struggling to wake up. His face was swollen, and he squinted to see me. The colonel is coming back, I said. I will help as much as I can, he said, but you will have to hold a different prayer field for him. It is your only chance. The flap door tore open, and the soldiers jumped to attention. The colonel came in and gestured for them to wait outside. He glanced at Yin once before walking over to me. I was taking deep breaths and attempting to extend my field as much as possible. I visualized the energy overflowing out of me, and I focused on seeing him not as a torturer, but only as a soul in fear. I want to know where these temples are, he said in a low, ominous voice, taking off his coat. The only way you can see them is if your energy is high enough, I replied, voicing the first thing that came to my mind. He seemed to be taken off guard. What are you talking about? You told me you believe in powers of the mind. What if one of those powers is to raise your energy level? What energy? You said that brainwaves were real and could be manipulated by a machine. What if they could be manipulated internally by our intention and made stronger by raising your energy level? How is that possible, he said. Nothing like that has ever been shown by science. I couldn't believe it. He seemed to be opening his mind. I focused on the expression on his face that seemed to be honestly considering what I was saying. But it's really possible, I went on. Brain waves, or perhaps a different set of waves that go further, can be increased to a point where we can influence what happens. He perked up. Are you telling me you know how to use brain waves to make certain things happen? As he talked, I again saw a glow behind him against the wall of the tent. Yes, I continued, but only those things that take our lives in the direction they are supposed to go. Otherwise, the energy eventually collapses. Supposed to go, he asked, squinting. The area of the tent behind him continued to appear lighter, and I couldn't help glancing at it. He turned around and looked in the direction himself. What are you looking at? He asked. Tell me what you mean about supposed to go. I consider myself free. I can take my life anywhere I want. Yes, of course, that's true. But there is a direction that feels best, is more inspired, and gives you more satisfaction than all others, isn't there? I couldn't believe how light the area behind him was becoming. but I dared not look at it directly. I don't know what you're talking about, he said. He looked confused, but I remained focused on the part of his expression that was listening. We are free, I said, but we also belong to a design that comes from a greater part of ourselves, that we can connect with our true self is much larger than we thought. He just stared. Somewhere deep in his consciousness he seemed to be understanding. We were interrupted when the guards outside banged on the entrance flap. As they did, I realized that the wind had erupted into a gale. We could hear things being blown and turned over all through the compound. A guard had opened the flap and was shouting loudly in Chinese. The colonel ran towards him. As he did, we could see tents blowing over everywhere. He turned and looked at Yin and me, and in that moment a tremendous gust of wind blew the left side of our tent up from its foundations and ripped it apart, covering the colonel and the guards with canvas, knocking them to the ground. Yin and I were hit with the wind and the snow blowing in through the gaping hole. Yin, I shouted, the Dakini. Yin struggled to his feet. This is your chance, he said. Run. Come on, I said, grabbing his arm. We can go together. He pushed me away. I can't. I'll just slow you down. We can make it, I pleaded. He shouted against the howling wind. I've done what I was here to do. Now you must do the same. We still don't know the rest of the fourth extension. I nodded and embraced him quickly, then grabbed the colonel's heavy coat and ran through the hole in the tent into the storm. Okay, that's it for us for today. Before we, next chapter is number 10, Acknowledging the Light. Okay, that's it from me. Take care and blessed be. Don't forget to check the links down below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. I want to say a big thank you to my Ko-Fi supporters. Thank you to those that like and subscribe to the channel. Really, really appreciate it here on YouTube. Thanks for following me across the board on the different socials. Don't forget to check out Ko-Fi if you want a private reading or healing, or you just want to donate to support the channel in some way. Really, really appreciate you all. That's it from me. Take care and blessed be.